Everyone. Today we'll be diving into the SBA for Grade 10 Information Technology, specifically focusing on Tasks 1 and 2. If you've been feeling overwhelmed or unsure about where to start, don't worry, I've got you covered. So in this video, I'll walk you through the guidelines for these tasks step by step. I'll break down everything into simple, manageable parts so you know exactly what to expect and how to go about doing it. So before we start today's video, if it is that you find this video helpful, then make sure to give it a like, and also please remember to share it with your classmates. Let's get right into today's video. So first and foremost, let's take a look at the SBA guidelines. So here we have some instructions to students. The teacher facilitates your development of the SBA and should be consulted from time to time to assess your progress, not to complete it for you. Students should save their work on storage devices. The teacher will collect a soft copy of work at the end of each completion date. The teacher is not responsible for lost or corrupted work. Ensure the work is done to the best of your ability. Scoring top marks will give you the advantage of becoming even more successful in the CSEC IT examination. Structure your time wisely to be able to complete the SBA within reasonable time. Presentation is very important. Keep your work neat. Please note that the SBA project is marked out of 50. It is worth 25% of your final CXC examination grade. And then we have how the 50 marks are distributed right there. So we would have gone through the project description in class, so hence I'll be skipping that part and getting right into task A. So section A, which consists of the spreadsheet part of the SBA. So it says the spreadsheet package will be used to create a model that will allow the owners of Bling World Fashion to manipulate and monitor the client's information and perform calculations based on purchases. So you are required to prepare the following information. So first, you're going to open a workbook and you're going to save it as your first initial plus your surname underscore spreadsheet SBA. And there's an example right here. So let's say that this person's name is Jahim Doe. So you use a J for the first initial and then Doe for the surname. Then it is followed by an underscore, then spreadsheet, then SBA. And we're seeing that right here. Or if it is that it is being done in group, then you go ahead and add that person's name as it is seen in the second example right here. And then you have underscore spreadsheet SBA. So after you're through saving your work, the next thing that you're required to do is to rename sheet 1 to discount. So upon opening the workbook, you'll be seeing sheet 1 at the bottom right here. So you're expected to change the name from sheet 1 to discount. So you just simply go ahead, you clear out sheet 1 and you type in discount right there. So rename sheet 1 to discount. Alright, so in that sheet, so in the discount sheet, you are to include the following information. So after you would have renamed this sheet, you're going to go ahead and you're going to type up this table right here. So you type up the table and after you're through, it should be looking somewhat like this. So in this discount sheet right here, you're seeing the table. So that's what you're required to do in task 1. And then it says, there's a little note briefly at the bottom, format the discount percentage as percent. So where we have the discount percentage column right here, you're asked to format it as percent. So how do we go about doing that? So you want to see 10% and 5% reflected. If it is that you go ahead and you type the 10 and you type the 5 and you highlight these cells, you right click, you select format cells, you go to percentage. Let's say we select 1 decimal place or no decimal place at all. This is how it will reflect. So you won't be seeing 10%, rather you'll be seeing 1000% and 500%. So if it is that you want to see that 10% and the 5% reflected, you have to insert this in the cell. So for the 10%, you have to go ahead and type 00.1. For the 5%, you have to go ahead and you have to type 0.05. And then you go ahead and you highlight those cells, you right click on the mouse, you select format cells, you go to percentage, and then right there looking at the bottom you see where in percentage format it multiplies the cell value by 100 and displays the result with a percent symbol. So we can remove the decimal places, and once we're through, you're seeing that the 10% and the 5% is being reflected right here. So that's how we go about that part. So now that we're completely finished with task 1, we're going to move on to task 2. So task 2, it requires you to add another sheet, and it is telling you where you need to add that sheet. So you're going to add another sheet right off discount. So on the right side of discount, let me highlight that right here. You're going to add another sheet and you're going to call the sheet client purchases data. So you add another sheet and you call it client purchases data. How do we add another sheet? The plus sign is at the bottom right here. You just go ahead, you click on it and you add the other sheet and you rename it to client purchases data. All right. After you're through doing that, in the client purchases sheet, so in the client purchases sheet, you're to include the following headings. So you're to include all of these headings. So you just type them up in that sheet. So after you're through, it should be reflecting, it should be seen as a table shown below. So you're going to have the name of the business in A1. In A2, you're going to have all these columns going across. So you have client ID in A2, you have client name in B2, you have client type in C2, and we're going across. And once you're through, it should be looking like this. So this is the client purchases data. So you're seeing all the heading going across like this right here. All right. Number 3, it says that you're to merge and center Bling World Fashion. So you're going to merge and center Bling World Fashion across the columns. So Bling World Fashion, you're to merge and center it. So this is important. So let me just change the color. So merge and center the title or the name of the store, Bling World Fashion. And I'm sure we all know how to merge and center. If it is that you do not remember, then you can leave a comment in the comment section and then I'll make a video adjusting that. Also, you're asked to set the font. So the font style should be Bookman Old Style. So you're going to highlight the word Bling World Fashion. After you highlight Bling World Fashion, you're going to change the font style. So you change the font style to Bookman Old Style. The font size should be 18. And also Bling World Fashion should be bold. So it should be in bold. So all of this is important. And as you would have seen, I would have done all of that right here with my Bling World Fashion. So if you're looking up here in my toolbar, You're able to see the font style, Bookman old style, and you're able to see that the font size is 18. Alright, moving right along. So number 4, the data sheet should have a total of 20 clients. Fill in the data for the following headings. Alright, so we need 20 clients. So use the client code and a mixture of 3 numbers. If the client is an international client, then make sure the client ID starts with IC. So if it is an international client, we need to start the client ID with IC. And if the client type is a local client, then you make sure to start with LC. So this is also very important. So we need 20 clients, some of which should be local and some should be international. Alright, they went further to even give us some examples. So for example, you have IC 100 or you have LC 200. So these are some examples of client ID. And they went further to say that make sure that the client IDs contain different numbers and the numbers are counting. So let's say, for example, we're working with international clients. So the first one will be IC 100. The second one will be IC 101. The third, IC 102. The fourth, IC 103. So you have to ensure that you are counting. As it pertains to the client name, so these names can be real or they can be made up. So you can make up some names or they can be real clothing names, clothing brands or clothing companies' names. Ensure though that the name of these companies or the name of these clients that you use, they are actually clothing stores. So we can't include the name of supermarkets or the name of farm stores under this listing. They have to be clothing companies. Alright, and they went further to say that there should be a combination of local and international clients. The client type, it can either be international client or local client. So international, those are the ones that are abroad. Local, those are the ones that are here in Jamaica. So it says that we need 20 clients. We can just split them up evenly. So we can get 10 local clients and we can get 10 international clients. And we go ahead and we make up those client ID numbers and please ensure that they are counting. So if you want to start counting from 100 with the local, it is fine. So you can say LC 100 and 101 and you continue all the way to 110. If it is that for the international client you want to go to 200, it is fine. You can say IC 200 and the second one IC 201, but just ensure that you are counting. For number 5, it says use an appropriate function. So now we're asked to use a function to insert the client code. If the client type is international customer, then the client code will be IC. Otherwise, the client code will be LC. So you are asked to use a function right here. And the most appropriate function to use right here would have to be the if function. Or you want it to help you with making a decision. So if it is international customer, then you want IC to appear. But if it is that it is local customer or local clients, then you want LC to appear. How do we go about writing that function? It's right here. So remember, all function starts with the equal sign. So all function starts with the equal sign and then followed by the name of the function. So we have equal if, open bracket, in this case it would be C3, equal international client, and please note that international client is placed in open and close quotation. So the whole of that word, it is typed in open and close quotation. So after we close the quotation, we have a comma. So this is saying that if whatever it is that is in C3 is equal to international client, then we want IC to appear. So IC is the value if true. If it is that whatever is in C3 is not international client, then we want LC to appear. Please ensure that you don't leave off any symbol or anything at all from this function, else you will be getting some errors. So please ensure that you copy this formula properly. And this function, it should be entered under this column right here, under column D, where we have client code. So nobody should be typing up any LC or any IC. You should allow the function to do that for you. And as you can see, with the function, it had said that if equal if C3, and if you look in my C3 right here, it has local client. So if C3 is equal to international client, then we wanted IC to appear. Otherwise, LC would have appeared. And you realize LC would have appeared right there. Next, we're asked to fill in the other columns with appropriate data. So as it relates to date of purchases, so the date should range from January 1, 2025 to December 31st, 2025. So as you can see, we're working with the year 2025. So you make up some dates within this year. So some dates that persons may would have come into the store and made some purchases. So you make up those dates and ensure that all of them are in the year 2025. I purposely did not put mine in the year 2025 because I know that some persons may be wanting to copy or screenshot everything that is here. So hence the reason why I didn't even follow the instruction with the correct year. So I used 2020. But please ensure that you're following all these instructions on the outline to the T. So it says that all of them should range from January 2025 to December 31st, 2025. Alright. Items purchased. So it has to be clothing items. So it has to be that the clients that you have, they are coming to your store to purchase clothing items, not snacks, not perfumes. It has to be clothing items. So it can be bodysuits, it can be jackets, it can be pants, it can be skirts, it can be blouse, and the list goes on. Or if it is that you're using real companies, you can go ahead and do some research to find out what are some of the clothing items that these companies actually sell. Alright, moving right along. So now we're at the quantity. So this is saying that ensure that 5 clients quantity are below 100. So ensure that 5 of the quantities that you have entered, are below 100. So let me take a look at my list. So here you realize that this one, it has 50. So this one is 50, this one is 80. So that's 2. This is 3. This is 4. And this is 5. So in keeping with the instruction, it says that ensure that 5 client quantities are below 100. So 5 of these clients have to order things that are less than 100. And the remaining clients, so the remaining clients would have to be 15. So the remaining 15 client quantity should range from, so the remaining 15 clients, they should range from, or should range between 100 to 250. So these clients, they can order up to 100 and more, but not exceeding 250 of the clothing items. So 5 below 100 and the remaining 15 between the range of 100 to 250. So please ensure that you're following all of this right here. Alright, then moving right along, we have the unit price. So prices should be realistic and range from $2,000 to $20,000. So the prices, please ensure that these prices that you put in the cells, that they are realistic. So please do not put for a t-shirt $1 million. Do not exceed $20,000. So let's be real. So here I would have went ahead and I would have put in my unit prices, and they're right there. So moving right along, so now we're on to the subtotal. So they said that we're supposed to use a formula. So use a formula, not a ready-made function this time, but a formula. So what formula could our formula possibly look like? So for the first one, it is saying that Maxi, we would have sold 50 bodysuit items to Maxis, and one of these bodysuit would have cost 2,500. So how will I know what the 50 of them would have amounted to? I have to multiply, right? So we go ahead and we type in the subtotal column, we type equal G3, G as in goat, so G3 right here. So G3 asterisk, so the asterisk, that's what we use for the multiplication sign. So equal G3 asterisk H3. And that's how we come up with our subtotal. We do not need to put in this formula for all of them. We just put it in for the first one and we use the fill handle. So we use the autofill, we go to the bottom right corner and we drag it all the way down to the final client. So remember, we're working smarter, not harder. Moving right along. So this part says that we're to sort the information by client type in descending order, then by date from oldest to newest. So start the information by client type in descending order, then by date from oldest to newest. So let me go ahead and do the date one for you. So we go back to the spreadsheet, we highlight the information that is there. We go to data, we select sort. We're sorting it by the date of purchase, so we ensure that it is selected right there, sort by date of purchases, and in the order of oldest to newest, and then we select OK. And mine was already in that order. Alright, let me head back. And then in number 8, it says that you're to apply the following formatting to the spreadsheet. So we're going to add currency format to the unit price and subtotal columns. So we go ahead and we highlight our unit price and subtotal columns. We highlight it. We highlight all of these numbers. We right click. So we highlight, we right click. We select format cells and we go to the currency, and as you can see, mine was already formatted using the currency format, and you select OK. So I did not go ahead and type in any of this $sign. It is because that the number is being formatted, hence the reason why it has a $sign. So you're not supposed to type the $signs. The next one says that the font size of the column headings should be 14. So the column headings, they should be 14. So where we have client ID, so let me go back to home tab, client ID, client name, client type. If you're paying attention to the font size right here, you would see that all of these are size 14. So that's what this is asking you to do. And then the last part, it says that you're supposed to wrap the text of the column headings. So wrap the text of the column headings. So we have the client type right here, and you're seeing wrap text right here. So this is how we wrap the column headings. Yes, and that's basically what you're required to do in task 1 and task 2 of the spreadsheet section of the SBA. So let me wish you guys all the very best with task 1 and 2. And if it is that you want to see more of these videos explaining the remaining parts of the SBA, then be sure to subscribe to the channel. And please remember to share this video with your classmates so that they can benefit as well. If you have any question, if you don't remember how to do something, then you can go ahead and you leave that in the comment section. All the best, guys. Thanks for watching.